I saw another. I don't know what drugs this kid was on. He was about our age. I was walking Bowser the other night, and our schedule for walking Bowser is about every 3-4 hours. And I usually take nights because my sleep schedule is so bad, and I'm up so late. So, like, last night, the last time I walked Bowser was 3:30 in the morning, 3:45, which is always kind of a weird vibe, just walking around the block at 3:30 in the morning. No one else is awake. It's dead quiet. It's a little creepy, but I like doing it for him because our other roommates will walk him in the mornings and the afternoons, and you'll walk him at like the afternoons and nights, and then I'll walk him at like night and like dead of night, like late. So he gets walked a ton in the day. He's a happy boy. He's exercised. I'm proud of him. But the other night, I was walking him at 3 in the morning, and there was this kid walking down our street towards us, towards me and Bowser. And he looked like, honestly, like a cartoon troll. Like he was walking with his arms at 90-degree angles, facing downwards, and his legs bent in the weirdest way. He was like hunched over. Like he looked like a troll. And I could tell by the extremely fast pace he was walking and the average pace Bowser and I was walking, we were going to meet up right at about the same point where our house is. So right when I was about to get Bowser inside, meaning I wasn't going to have to like pass this guy, but there was no way I was going to avoid him. Like I was going to be getting Bowser in the door right as this guy passes us. So I'm trying to speed it up. I really don't want to have to come into contact or even close vicinity of this drugged out 20-year-old who looks and is walking like a troll. Like he was also sweating profusely, and like it's summertime now, but at night it's like 60. It's really cool at night. I've been wearing like hoodies when I walk Bowser at 3 a.m. because it's getting cool. And this guy was in a t-shirt sweating. Like that's how many hard drugs he was on. And I'm picking up the pace. Bowser and I get to the door pretty quickly. This guy's about 5 feet away. And I tell Bowser, come inside. Because, I just want to get in, get out, and leave. Like, I want to close the door behind me and be safe from this drugged out kid. So I tell Bowser, come inside. This druggie looks at me, turns, and starts heading towards our door like I was talking to him. It was fucking terrifying. I closed the door quickly behind me, locked it, and oh god, the most terrifying shit in my life. Like I've never come that close to a potentially terrible situation. Other than the time I almost got hit by a train. Segway, baby. That's not even on the topics list. There was one time I was hunting, and this is a short story, honestly. One time I was hunting, me and my buddy, we were walking through the forest, and there's these train tracks. It's the same hunting grounds I talked about on a previous podcast that's right next to a power plant. So there's these train tracks that basically are right next to a river. And the train goes along the bend of the river. And on one side of the river's the nuclear power plant that probably is just feeding waste into the river. The deer drinks the waste, and I'm going to die at the age of 32 because I eat those deer.
Good.
On the other side of the river is the hunting grounds. So the nuclear power plant is at least not on the same property, per se. So me and my buddy are walking through the woods, heading towards this river, because a lot of deer like to drink there. And we see a hunter on the train tracks with his gun up, and he's looking through the sight at something. But we don't see a deer in the direction he's looking. So we stop not to make noise and potentially scare his kill off. We're waiting for 5 minutes. He hasn't shot, hasn't moved. Eventually he puts his gun down. So we walk up to him, we're talking with this guy. He's like, oh, I thought I saw a deer out there, but it was really far off. It wasn't coming out of the brush. It ended up going deeper into the forest. I couldn't get a clean shot. So we're just talking with this guy, shooting the shit with this random hunter. And I should clarify that the previous night, it had stormed a fuck ton. It stormed like crazy, which can be good for hunting because the next day, a lot of the deer aren't going to be walking around ton in the storm, and the day after the storm, you have a better chance of potentially finding one. That's what I've heard, at least. I don't go hunting much anymore. So the next day, the river next to us is rushing, bro. It's a rapid. There was insane amounts of water in this river. It was coming up onto the tracks a little. Like, it was overflowing like crazy. Thanks to the storm, if you didn't get that. That's what I was trying to say.
Yep.
I didn't want to put that exposition in there, but I feel like you needed it from the look on your face.
Did you want me to, like, exclaim, like, oh, the river was rushing because of the storm? Like, to do the exposition that way?
But we're on the train tracks. The river next to us is really, really loud, very overflowed, and just honestly a nuisance to my existence. My feet were getting wet because, like I said, the water's on the tracks. I didn't like it. Didn't want it. But the reason that detail is important is because we're talking, not really paying attention to anything, and we hear a giant-ass train horn blaring. We look behind us, and there's a train maybe like 30 yards off. Not insanely close, but way too close for comfort. And none of us had heard it prior because of how loud the river next to us was. So we jump off the tracks. I go one way, my buddy goes the other. So does, like, the random hunter dude. So
the random hunter just jumps over the train because one guy went this way, the other guy went that way. Where do I go?
But I go one way, and I'd say we had about 5 to 8 seconds between getting off the tracks to the train getting there. So it was close, but not too close. And this train starts rushing past us. I jumped the way of the river, so I'm now standing kind of in this overflowed river with a train stopping me from getting to dry land. And after it passed, we all kind of joked about how almost death-inducing that situation was. It was a good time. But that I think is one of the scariest moments in my life, alongside telling Bowser to come inside and unintentionally inviting a drugged-out 20-year-old into the apartment with me.